What's up, guys? So what you're looking at here is the Apple TV remote for the 4th generation Apple TV, and I only own one of these, or at least one Apple TV, but that is my second remote. And the reason being, they're fairly rugged devices, but my kids found out a way to break it, and all that happened was it fell on the ground, somebody stepped on it, and this whole thing cracked. So this is a new one. I wanted to do an experiment with the old one, because everything is completely functional, and even the trackpad worked. It's just that this whole thing was cracked, and there was shards of glass that would come off, so it wasn't particularly safe for my children to use. So this is kind of the result of that experiment. It is basically a wood case. It is completely and fully functional with the TV, and has made it actually a little bit more rugged. Now, these holes right here for the buttons are not perfect. I would say that this is kind of a prototype, and so I'll just kind of give you a brief description on what we're looking at and how kind of I went about doing this. So first of all, I just basically took a block of wood. I cut it to the rough dimensions. Once I had it on the rough dimensions, I basically sandwiched it. So if you can imagine this piece of wood and cutting it in threes, okay, so a layer here, a middle layer, which was roughly the thickness of a remote, and then the top layer, and that top layer is basically just that veneer, and that's the entire top layer. You can see the three pieces that are sandwiched together to encase that remote. And perhaps a better example is kind of the trim that I used. So you can see that here's the bottom piece. This was trimmed off of either the bottom or the top here that I used as that cutout for the hole, or for the lightning port. And then I traced around to kind of fit the shape of the remote. I sat the remote in there, and then I sandwiched a thin piece of wood on the top. I did some experiments with this remote to make sure that that thin piece of wood would still register my finger, and even with a little bit thicker than that piece right there, the remote was able to register my finger press extremely well. This whole thing is put together with just glue. The remote, that is, as it sits in there, I sprayed spray adhesive on the back here and here of this remote, so that the wood part would stick to the touchpad surface and the base, and that this would sit down in there. And of course, I drilled that hole in there for the Siri functionality. So again, I think it came up fairly nice. The hole right here, especially for the volume up and down rocker, is not perfect, but it is sufficient, and it certainly makes the remote much more rugged. And I think with a little bit more polish, a little bit more precision with these cutouts, this could be an extremely nice case. Maybe even a gift for somebody if you're into this type of thing. Let me know something that you're interested in, and especially if you have any more different design ideas. I may just be able to get away with not even having this recess or separation here, is just sandwiching these things together. I think with the thinness of this particular veneer almost, that it might still be able to register that thumb press. There is a little bit of a difference here in the casing and the trackpad, and that is to register that click left and right. Allows you to skip ahead or back 10 seconds. And I think that even with these two sandwiched completely together, it would still be able to register that click. That's basically it. Please like, subscribe, and let me know what you think down in the comments, and see you next time.